Alright guys, in today's video, I'm going to be doing a complete guide on how to use the Retell AI platform and build your own AI voice agents inside of it, and make sure, number one, the prompting is done properly in it, and also make sure all the settings are done correctly in it as well to make sure whether you're using this for yourself or for your clients, it's all done and set up right. And also on top of that, showing you how you can directly integrate Retell AI directly into Gohighlevel to make sure the calendar and everything syncs properly so you can book events onto your Gohighlevel calendar through a Retell AI call, whether it's again for yourself or for your clients, it doesn't matter. And I'll preface this saying I had to have my own developer build an app inside of Gohighlevel to make this happen and make this work. So there's been a lot of time, a lot of money put behind this video that you're going to see here. And I'm the only one on YouTube that's ever going to show you this because no one else has built a direct app to facilitate the process from a Retell AI call to a Gohighlevel booking on the Gohighlevel native calendar. And as I go through this video, I'm going to be going through not only just the basic automations and the basic setup, so if you want to set up a basic agent, or all the way to an advanced agent if you're trying to set up a really advanced caller. It can do many different use cases, and then also a bunch of different follow-up automations that is more advanced inside of Gohighlevel to make sure the agent is triggered at different times to call leads or call people at certain points. Okay, so as I go throughout this entire video, everything I'm going to be showing you from the app to everything, obviously I'm using Gohighlevel and Retell AI. In the description of this video, there's going to be a 30-day trial you can use my Gohighlevel link for. Once you use it, you're going to get an email directly to the inbox that you signed up with, and it's going to include what's called a snapshot inside of Gohighlevel that you can import directly from me, and it's going to have access to the app, to all the prompting. I even have my own AI Carson GPT that is strictly for prompting, so it's a Carson AI prompting GPT for your own AI agent, so it's trained up on it, that I'm going to show you throughout this video that took a lot of time to do. And also on top of that, just a bunch of other resources and assets that's going to be super helpful for you as you go throughout this video. So make sure you use that link below in the description. And on top of that, I just want to preface, this is directly from my 10-hour free AI agency course that I posted just a few weeks back, where I pretty much talk about everything AI agency related. So if that's the business model you're in, great, you can go watch that video. I'll have a link for it in the description below because it's pulled from that video. But if you're just wanting to learn how to use Retell AI and connect it to Gohighlevel and make sure all your agents are set up properly, you can just watch this video because it's specifically for that. With all that being said, let's jump into the video and I hope you guys enjoy. Alrighty, so welcome to video 8 inside the client fulfillment module. In this video, the long-awaited Retell live setup with examples. Okay, so when I say this, I mean this is going to be the video where we're going to be covering everything, building the AI agent, connecting it to Gohighlevel, making sure you can prompt the agent right so that it doesn't have issues or errors, and I've already done a lot of this work for you, and then also connecting it and understanding the automations that have been pre-built for you guys. All right, so first thing we're going to cover is connecting the Retell agent to CRM or Gohighlevel to trigger AI calls automatically. Okay. What I mean by this, if this is confusing or not understanding, we are making an agent, an AI agent, AI calling agent inside of Retell AI. All right. We are going to build this agent, prompt it, everything we need, and then connect it directly into Gohighlevel using the app me and my team of developers have made. And this inside of Gohighlevel will now be able to read all the calls and book these calls into the calendar. Okay. So that's for context, what you understand, just I guess going forward, right? Next, you're going to use Carson's AI Caller GPT. I've made you guys a GPT that you guys can use for all of your prompt writing because there's a correct and a right way to do it. There's also a wrong way to do it. So just to give you guys some context there. Next is going to be following my steps using Sympana connectors through Retell to Gohighlevel. So actually connecting the app. Next is going to be reviewing all of my automations I built for you guys. So I have a basic folder and an advanced folder based on yours or your client's needs. And, you know, my AI caller resources and scripts you're going to be getting as well. So real quick, let me jump over into Gohighlevel and Retell so then we can start this process. So first thing you're going to do is just look up Retell AI. This is what it's probably going to look like. And you are just going to create an account. Okay. I don't think it costs any money to create an account or anything like that. And once you've created the account, you essentially will get shot to a page that looks kind of like this, right? So I have an empty account right here that I've made. And even just for you guys that are like maybe a little bit skeptical of like, hey, does this really work? Is this AI caller actually like legit, or, you know, can it really convert? I'll show you guys a couple client accounts of mine real quick so you understand kind of the volume of how at a high scale what you can do and even just like a normal scale. So this is one client account of mine real quick here. This currently, what I like about Retell as well is you can see all the analytics, so we can just see everything in a super easy glance. Currently 962,000 actual outbound calls done to leads that have opted in. And we can see here on the right, for this client specifically, they want call transfers. So transferring a call like this directly to a sales agent ready to go and sell the person. Of course, 84% of them unsuccessful, just like most outbound calls are, but a whopping 150,000 of these calls, so 15%, literally through the AI, the live human sounding AI caller converted directly into a live transfer and was a successful call. And we can see all the metrics here around call picked up rate, call success rate, transfer rate, etc. Right? We can see really all the agents down to, I guess, like even like a science, right? And this is again what I like about Retell, because you can just see everything at a glance and they give you really in-depth stats without having to be super technical. Like as I build this AI agent, you guys can follow me, right? You guys are getting all the resources to just set this up in the next like 20-30 minutes max, right? So I'll quickly show another couple of client accounts right now as we're at it. So this is another one real quick right here. Currently 15,000 calls. This is in the insurance space. Person wanted booked calls. So successful calls, 62% of these outbound calls we've done have been successful, as in they've turned into live calls. And then the other 37% were unsuccessful, didn't fall through, didn't pick up, didn't do anything. And we can kind of see some more stats around that here as well. Then this client account here as well, actually in the healthcare space, currently successful calls or unsuccessful calls is 63%. So 5,000 of the almost 9,000 calls we've done, and then about 36% of them actually turned into live booked appointments directly for this client. Okay. A lot of these leads are leads they have themselves internally, and then also for ads we're running for them as well. So just an example, right? Like some people talk about online about how they have all these clients and stuff. Like, here's the metrics, guys. You guys can look, you guys can see my client metrics. I don't have anything to hide here, right? So that being said, I think you guys understand the point here. I'm going to jump into that new account I just made, fresh account, and we'll start building up an agent from zero. All right, so this is what my empty account looks like. I built a test agent so you guys can see here as well, just for context, but I'm going to build out a new one with you guys as well. A lot of the resources I'm going to be giving you guys, so I'm going to log into my sub account real quick. A lot of the resources I'm going to be giving you guys, of course, are in the actual resources kind of website as well. So there's a few things you guys will need obviously to do this. So if I go over to the resource doc, it's going to look maybe as simple as this. I've made up a new one actually. So this is the new one that you guys will probably all see when importing this into your high level account. You guys have probably already seen this by now, but I kind of made it look a lot better. So yeah, you guys will see that. I'm going to give you guys demos of the AI caller as well. So I'll show that within this video as well. But point is, this is kind of the simple one I'm using. But at the top, you guys will have sign up links. So you guys are going to have a Retell sign up link that you can use. Again, it's a referral link with me, but with this referral link, you guys will get extra credits and extra help with their support. Just because obviously I'm very in touch with the Retell team. My developer actually went to their headquarters in San Francisco, California to meet up with them. So because we have a lot of clients, we have a lot of high level kind of enterprise clients, we have to make sure that are getting results, and Retell obviously has been here to support that. Okay. So as I scroll down, there's going to be an AI caller setup section. You guys will see Simpana connector app. So this is how you actually get the app itself. Hold off on that. Don't worry about it. Simpana documentation. So all the documentation you need to build the AI agent. I'll open that, but we won't need it just yet. AI caller prompt creation GPT. You guys will absolutely need that. So I'm going to open that here as well. It's just something you guys can directly import inside of your ChatGPT, which is I just call it Carson prompt GPT script. So you guys can use this agent. It's an agent I have designed to essentially, you can ask it questions or you can just talk with it back and forth, and it will build you the prompt for your AI caller that works at a great rate. And then lastly is on this doc as well, you can directly get access to using my AI developer if you guys want for high level projects. For everyone that's used, obviously, my high level link, you guys have access to that. So that's something we give a lot inside of my mastermind as well, but just obviously to give you guys some stuff here for those that are just starting out and following this video. So that being said, first thing we need to do is we're going to head over to Retell AI and we're going to get to this screen. All right. So when we see the screen, there's a couple of things we need to do. We're going to first start by building out the agent. All right. So we're going to click create agent at the top right, and we're going to click voice agent. Then there's kind of agent types and templates we can select. Select single prompt agent and then start from blank. This is just, I'm going to explain stuff as I go through here, but I want to give you guys just like, I guess, the best knowledge around this stuff. So it'll give you agent ID, Retell, LLM ID. It'll tell you how expensive it'll be per minute, latency, and then also just tokens and stuff you have as well. Okay. So first thing is I'm going to select right up here, go to GPT-5 mini, and then go to the fast tier. All right. So that is currently, again, very, very cheap. So this is 8 to 9 cents per minute of talk time, which is on the cheaper side for sure. Right over here, right next to it, we can choose the actual agent, that like AI calling human sounding agent that we want to do. Simo, I think is how I say it, and also Grace have been very, very good performing. Haley, she's okay. And then the others, you guys can test around with it, but I'll play some demos real quick.
Hey there, I'm Simo, your resilient AI collaborator, ready to rise to the occasion.
Hey, I'm Grace, your virtual assistant at your service for all your needs, from answering questions to completing tasks.
Isn't that crazy? Like, that's literally AI. So that being said, select the agent you want to use up here. Again, you can start with Simo or Grace, whatever you guys prefer. Female agents generally I've seen do better. It's just, I guess, a pattern recognition I've seen. And then again, make sure it's your English, whatever language you are here. So you guys can see all the languages that Retell actually has. It's crazy. They have Romanian, French, Chinese, German, Hindi, like everything, So, all right. So what we're going to start with right here is we need to build the script. Okay. So I'm going to name this just Carson testing agent, right? Cool. So we're going to head back over to this GPT that was created right here, and we are going to turn off thinking until we get to actually the GPT creation itself. So you guys will understand what I mean in a minute. So I'm going to just say here, again, depending on what you're using this agent for, make the agent either for yourself or for your client. So if you guys are in the client fulfillment, obviously maybe you have clients right now, you can do this for your client. But if you don't have any clients, you're just watching this to understand how the AI caller works, you guys can do this along with me so you guys can learn building this stuff yourself as the setup goes along, right? So do this just for yourself, for your own sake. You can be like, hey, my name is Carson. I'm working with real estate agents, or I'm working with high ticket medical spa treatment clinics, right? Whatever you want to do, right? So first thing I'm gonna say is, hey, I am looking to build a retail AI agent that will be used for outbound calls. I'm going to show outbound throughout this video just because, again, with the whole AI agency service, lead ops in, we have to outbound call them, right? So it just makes sense. Outbound calls. Okay. And then it will go down its train of thought that's already been trained into it, so you guys can just follow along with it. So it's pretty easy and good to go there. So great. Outbound it is. Are you using Sympana connector? You're going to reply with, I'm going to just turn this off. You're going to reply with yes. Here are the Sympana variables. These variables fine. So this is the variables that will be used within the sub account. So you're just going to reply with this and say, all good. Perfect. What platform we run? Retell. So again, like I said, integrates directly with Vappy and Retell, which is super convenient, but for this case, we're just going to be doing Retell. Are these functions fine? I'm just gonna say fine. Now let's start phase one, which is core info. So why is the AI calling leads? Okay, so we'll do the example of I'm a marketing agency and I'm working with real estate agents. Okay, so why is the AI calling leads? Opt in, referral, yes, opt in. Okay, we're getting leads through opting in and consenting. Again, we want to be compliant here. What company name? We'll say Carson, or I don't know, I'm gonna confuse it. Just estate, AI estate flow. Totally made that up. Absolutely did not think that till now. Can you share the website? And I don't have one. So you can share the website with it and it'll also scrape and get some data around it. What's the name of the AI agent be? So it's the name of the actual AI caller itself. So for this case, we can literally just do Sarah. Should share or disclose this call is being recorded for quality. So in certain states, this is needed. So again, depending on where you're calling, this is important. Again, this is for a compliance reason. If you're calling in California, I think there's some other states as well. They do need this. So do your research on what is that, how you should go around that. I'm gonna just say no for this case because I'm just gonna assume I'm not calling to the states that need that. Got it. No recording disclosure. Who's your target audience? Okay, real. That was a real estate agents. What are the disqualifiers? None. You can add disqualifiers there so the AI agent will disqualify, so it's kind of cool. We'll qualifying questions. How many home deals have you closed the last 12 months? I think what else? What are your goals for 2026? And how long have you been a real estate agent? Cool. Do you have an existing script? No. I do not have one. Okay, you're gonna say no because we don't have an existing prompt. Phase 3, any rules certain topic should avoid. So this is where you can talk about anything you should avoid or the agent should avoid talking about. I'm just gonna say none. All right, so this is the point now where it's ready to generate the script for this business. What we're gonna do is we're gonna head up to the top left, click on model, and then click thinking. So we're gonna turn the thinking option on. We're gonna reply yes. So now it's gonna generate our script. And while it does this, I'm gonna quickly go through and actually set up the agent itself. First thing we're gonna set up is once we have all the top kind of basic stuff set up, we're going to turn this welcome message down to AI speaks first, and then it is going to be a custom message. All right. So we're going to just say, actually, I'll fill that out in a minute when we have the actual script itself. We're going to head up here. This is kind of all the different settings we can do. So functions, don't touch this right now because as we install Sympana connector, it'll actually all be integrated. Next will be knowledge bases. So if you want to add knowledge bases for your agent, you can literally add new knowledge base right here. It'll open a new tab, add a new knowledge base, and then you can just call this like, what did I call it? AI estate flow or something? AI estate flow, right? Saying that's my business name. And then documents, you can either add a website. If you have a website that it can actually, I guess sync to and it can scrape for information, you can upload files about all the data from your business or just add text manually. Whatever you want to do. For this case, I'm not going to be going through and connecting a knowledge base for the agent to pull from, but if you guys want that, of course, you guys can do that. Next is going to be speech settings. So this is kind of cool, but what you can do is you can literally set up so it sounds like the AI agent is in like a coffee shop background. So it'll make like coffee shop background like noises or like a static noise or call center, whatever you want. For this case, I'm just going to do none. Let me see here. When we go to responsiveness, respond how fast the AI agents are for speaking. Don't worry about that. When we go down to back channels, agent to offer like, yeah, Again, if you want that as well, so it says like, yeah, or that type of stuff. Speech normalization. I don't really change anything too much here. It's just not something I worry about. Or then pronunciations if you want to guide the model to actually pronounce a word like a certain way because it just might not know how. real-time transcription settings. So we want to do is we want to remove noise plus background speech for sure. We want to also optimize for accuracy. Okay. And then vocabulary specialization. So this is mainly like general, works well across all industries. And then you also have a medical field. So if you're working directly in sort of like healthcare medical terms, you can select this and it will automatically kind of know like the certain vocab you should use. And then also boosted words as well, if this is like a common word that will be used on the call that you just wanted to make the AI agent known, or just, I guess, be in the know for. Next is going to be call settings. So turn on voicemail detection and then hang up if reached voicemail, have that on. And then user keypad input, turn that off. And then end call on silence. So we don't want the AI agent sitting there if someone's just trolling with the agent and it sits there for 10 minutes and bills us because the person is just trolling and it's just on silence. So I like to make this generally about like 1 minute of no speaking, right? You can make it less. So just ending the call after a certain time of silence. Next is going to be max call duration. So for me, it's just depending on your industry, depending on your prompt and like who you're really speaking with, but you can say like 15 to 20 minutes, I would say. So I'll just do that. And the ring duration, you can keep that the same. Next is going to be post-call analysis. So you guys actually don't have to worry about this directly through the Symponic Connector app we've developed. You guys will be able to import, and Gohighlevel will automatically add a tag to the user and the contact of the person that called and give the call summary automatically, just straight through the actual, integration itself. So I'm going to show you guys, it's already built for you and you guys don't even have to touch that. But if you want to literally like pull like certain information, you can click add and then you can click like this and then like appointment booked. And then you could just ask, did the user book an appointment, right? Like super kind of like, I guess, specific things you can transfer, but we already have the call summary feature enabled, which I'll show you guys later. Security and fallback settings, nothing really here. I don't change anything too much here. Webhook settings as well, or MCPs, none of that as well. So that is pretty much the AI agent mainly set up as far as the settings go. Post-call analysis, call settings, and then real-time transcription, and then background noise, and then knowledge base. Cool. So that being said, if I go right over back into the GPT, now it has given me exactly what I need, which is this entire script. Okay. So currently all you have to do is just take this entire thing and it's already generated it for you. You're going to go down right over here on the left. You're going to click just paste. All right. Then you're going to click save. Okay. Then what you're going to do is the last thing is in the welcome message down here, AI speaks first, custom message, and then you're just going to put right here, hello, is this contact name? Okay. So it's going to say its actual name and it sounds good. So then that's going to be the intro message it's going to send when on the call. So for example, I will quickly test it on the right here right now so you guys can actually hear it. So if I go test audio.
Hello, is this watch contact underscore name?
Yes, this is Carson Reed.
Hi, Carson. This is Sarah with High Flow. You requested information about boosting your deal flow and booking more qualified appointments, so I am following up. Is now a bad time for a quick minute?
So that's kind of what it sounds like. So I could talk back and forth with it. You can also go back and forth over chat as well. So again, it doesn't know my name yet, so you can just click new up here, or I guess you would just go to right down here, and then is this contact first name, Mike, and then it will automatically kind of save like a simulation text or whatnot, right? So there's one thing right now with the agent, very transparently, that there's something you just need to be aware of with this GPT. It's just as I'm filming it, sometimes it says in it, pause, wait for lead to respond, and don't wait to say anything. If you bring this over into Manus AI, it will quickly adjust it and change it. So I'll show you guys a live example of like the other one I built over here that I just told Manus. I said, the current problem with this agent right now, this prompting script, is it's just saying like right after the sentence, it's saying like, wait for user to respond or anything like that. It kind of sounds weird. So this script here on the left is automatically, kind of done for that. So you guys can listen to this demo right here.
Hello, is this the contact underscore name?
Yes, this is Carson Reed.
Hi, Carson. This is Sarah with Gohighlevel LLC. You opted in to hear about options for your home. Do you have 2 minutes now?
I do. Right. So that's kind of it. Again, and call right here. So you guys get the point. So that I just wanted to show, like, again, in the other one, it would have kind of kept going and saying like pause. So it would have kind of glitched out a little bit. So all you have to do is just bring the script over into Manus and just say like, hey, Manus, quickly correct this prompting script so it doesn't say, like all these kind of random, like, I guess, middle words that the AI prompt should have, but it won't say it out loud. It's like the thing that should be not said out loud, if that makes sense. All right. So that being said, what we have here is we have our agent pretty much done. Okay. So everything has been set up. We can test it here on the right if needed. GPT fast, everything is good to go. Okay. And even simulation as well. If you want to do some test cases, you can as well. Right. You don't even need to click publish here on the left or on the right. Once that's all done, you're going to head back into the Retell settings and you're going to go to phone numbers here on the left. Okay. Then you're going to add a phone number. I already have a phone number in here, so click add number, buy new phone number. Very, very cheap. It's going to give you two options, Twilio and then Telenix. Telenix numbers I've seen land in spam much, much less. It's just something I've tested over a lot of client accounts, what my developers have reported to me. So you can search for, area codes, right? So it's like 206. If I was looking for like Seattle or something, I can get a lot of Seattle numbers. Whatever area code you want, you can get. It should be, I don't know how much it's actually going to charge, but if I test one real quick, boom, and I click save, should ask me for a question or two, but it's generally about like $1 or $1.50 or something. I would say around there. So 206, boom, we have this number here, and you don't really need to touch it or anything. Outbound call agent, you can just select the agent we just did. So Carson testing agent, click draft. That's all you have to do. And then that is pretty much, because I'm not going to be showing this example, the inbound call agent. We're pretty much good. So head back over to agents and then head back over to the agent we just built. The phone number is now automatically attached to it. So as we see here, and what we're going to do is we're going to head back into Gohighlevel. And what we're going to do is in the resources doc, so again, it might look like this right here, but you're going to scroll all the way down to where it says Sympana Connector app. Okay, click here for access. You guys are going to click on that and download Sympana Connector into your Gohighlevel. Once it's downloaded, it's going to look like this in the bottom left. You're going to see this is Sympana logo, and you can kind of just click on this right here. I might have it already connected, so I'll just reconnect it to show it as the example. But what it's going to look like is, if it loads, just give it 1 second. Once this loads, we're going to click Retell here on the left. So this is the actual app itself. Click this once it's imported from the Gohighlevel marketplace. Again, I already have mine connected. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to remove this existing connection, and then I am going to re-add it so I can show you guys kind of how it looks like. So this is what it should look like. You're going to click add your first connection like here. And then it's going to say connection name, so you can name it, and you can select the agent directly from your API key you generated. So this is very, very important. In the top right where it says a change API key, this is your API key right here. You need to connect your Retell API key directly to that. So I'll show you guys kind of how to do that right now. So you're going to click on settings here on the left, and then you're going to go to API keys, and you're going to add a key. You can literally just call this API key. You can just call it like Carson API key or something like that, or just first agent API key or whatever, right? And then you are going to take that API key, you're going to copy it, and you're going to import it right into here, okay? And then you're going to update API key, and then what's going to happen directly within the app is when you go to make an integration instead of Retell, you can click add your first connection, and it will sync and pull all the actual agents we've made. So we can call this like, I don't know, just connection number 1, right? And then we can select the actual AI agent we just made, right? So we'll click Carson testing agent, and actually we'll just take test agent 1 just for example, because I made 2, but you're going to select your agent you made there, and then you're going to connect it directly to the actual Gohighlevel calendar. So this is the big part. It literally will sync the AI agent you have made directly to your actual Gohighlevel calendar that you want appointments to get booked on based on the agent's objective, right? Which is really, really good. Select phone numbers, select the phone number you want. So I just got this 206 number. You can just do that. Again, when you get an Telenix, it's going to land in spam or, spam likely. It's going to say that much, much less. Don't worry about buying anything crazy. Like sometimes they'll give you promotions inside of Retell, like spend $100 a month for this verified number. Honestly, like I have seen some good results with that, but it's just not really necessary, especially when starting out. Okay. And then what we're going to do, functions, we want to be booking calls, right? Or get appointment or whatever. All this is going to get imported, but our goal is to obviously book call. So all you guys have to do is click create connection. Then it will load. Once it's loaded right here, we can just make sure it's active like so, and we make sure it's connected to the right calendar, right phone number, the right agent, and then we're good to go, okay? And what's cool about this is if you guys go right over back into the agent we just made, which will be, this was the one I actually connected, it's test agent. You guys go to functions here on the right. All of these have now been added, okay? So now this is all you guys don't really have to, if you're not technical, if you don't understand this stuff, don't worry about it. But now this is directly added into the Gohighlevel account to pull all this information from, because these are all just agent functions and capabilities, right? So now what we need to do is we need to cover actually how do we use this agent. So starting off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to head over to the automations, and we have this Sympana connector folder, okay? So I want you guys to click on that. And then what we have right here is we have a basic automations folder and advanced automations folder. I'm going to go through each of these and explain them. We also have 2 different pipelines that all of these AI callers are going to separate to. So we have kind of what you guys have in your own snapshot, of course, with using my Gohighlevel link in the description. All this is sent to you if you guys don't already have it. But AI caller pipeline right here, we have basic. So it has all this here. So it'll track through the AI caller, all the calls, everything. Booked right here, call, lead did not respond, lead not interested, and then call in progress, etc., right? And then if we go into the advanced, like so, it'll go booked and then call, double, day 1 a.m. calling, day 1 p.m. and then day 2, day 3. You guys will understand this as I go here along. All right. So let's start with the basic automations because this is probably what most of you guys want to start off with learning, right? So we have 4 different automations in here. Again, when you want to make sure they're working, click the published button right here so then you know and make sure it's actually working itself, right? So what I'm going to start with is this one right here. So immediately call from Facebook lead form or Facebook ad, right? So whatever your trigger is for the actual ad. So let's say we're getting leads from an ad and that's how we're getting our leads. And we want these leads to be contacted by this AI agent we have just made inside of Retell, right? That's what this AI agent is. What we're going to do is we're going to make sure the trigger up here is the actual form we want. So let's say they're going to a landing page and they're submitting on a website form, and then we say to them, we're going to contact you shortly. On this form, we're just going to make sure add filters, form is, and then select the form that you've made. So it could be like calendar form, for example, right? And then once that's done, if I click X up here, you can also do Facebook lead form. So if you are running Facebook lead forms, you connect your Facebook inside the Gohighlevel settings, and then integrations, connect the Facebook account, and then you just go to the integrations in the top right and field mapping, and you just map the actual lead form to your Gohighlevel account. It'll also pull from here as well, and you can select the exact Gohighlevel instant form that you want to use, which I'm going to show you guys in the next video because that's obviously a video in its own for client, Facebook lead forms and whatnot. The whole point is all that's right here is just however you're getting your leads. Okay, this is all we need to tell the automation. How are you getting your leads and information so then we can get it through this automation? So first thing it's going to do is it's going to add itself into the pipeline, right? So move to call. Right, basic call, and that pipeline I was just showing you in the basic one. It's going to wait 3 minutes, and then it's going to go through what's called a concurrency limiter. This stuff is already all built out for you guys, but what a concurrency limiter is it essentially will limit to 15 simultaneous calls at the same time, if somehow that's happening, right? So it's like, imagine we have 30 leads that opt in. We can only limit this to 15 leads that actually get called at a time because Retell only supports up to like 18 to 20 calls simultaneously. So just for context, you guys understand how that works, right? Next, it's going to go directly to the place call function, all right? So this is actually all built out natively in Gohighlevel. All you have to do once the integration is done is you're going to select voice connection, and you're just going to select that agent we connected, right? It's already all done, which is obviously extremely convenient. So we're going to click save action, and then down here, it's just move inside the pipeline because now we know that the call is in progress. And then we just add tag on the lead itself in Gohighlevel inside the contact, and then just click called, right? That's what the add tag is for. Okay, it's just adding called tag right here. Cool. So now that we understand that, we need to make sure, of course, you guys can always, if you guys want, right over here on the right, Simpana connector, we can just place call, all right? And it's only an extra 1 cent per actual trigger itself. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. You're gonna click save here in the top right, and then now we are going to head into automation number 2. So what automation number 2 is this is where this automation essentially distinguishes between inbound and outbound calls. So once the call is completed, it will go down whether, which path it's necessary. So whether it's going to detect whether it was an outbound call that the agent did or an inbound call. All right. And the whole point here is we're going to add summary notes based on if the call happened. And if the call didn't happen, we're going to organize it in the pipeline and say like lead not interested or, whatever happened, whatever the actual outcome of the call was. So this right here, you guys can see my cursor. This is in the inbound, flow right here. Boom. You guys can see inbound. And then if it actually was an inbound call, it will say contact found, find contact inbound. Add call notes. So what it's going to do is it's going to add the call notes. I've already added this for you guys. This is all made. And inside the actual contact, inside Gohighlevel itself, it will make in the notes section the summary of the call, right? So this is call completed, trigger call summary, right? So it's already all made for you. So this is something a lot of AI callers I've seen people get super stumped over. This is all done automatically through the app we've developed, and it's already through the automations you guys have, all right? Next is going to be wait 2 minutes. It's going to add it to this pipeline if it's lead not interested, and then also add the tag as well, because what you guys will see in a second is if they actually turn into a live appointment, it will remove them from these automations before this actually happens, which again, you guys will see in a minute, because this automation is only triggered once the call is done. And that means if the actual agent, if the AI agent converted someone into a live booked call, live on call, it's going to remove from all the other automations, which I'm going to show you guys in a minute. So it wouldn't even go down this entire automation. This is for literally people who have either, not interested or did not respond, right? That's all this is for. It's just organizing it inside the pipelines and then also adding the tags accordingly. And I know this stuff might sound super confusing, but again, like Once you understand this stuff, it makes a lot more sense. Next thing is going to be down the outbound path. So finding context down the outbound path right here. Detect if voicemail is actually detected or not. And then what it's going to do is whether they were actually did not respond, it's going to add that tag and add them in the pipeline here. Or if they did respond and the call actually did happen, it's going to add the call notes and then say lead not interested. So it's going to say in the call notes what happened on the call and obviously why they weren't interested. And then it's just organizing them here. All of this is already made for you guys. If you guys want to go crazy in depth inside the snapshot and really understand it, you guys can. But again, it's already all made for you. You know, you don't even have to touch this automation right here. Okay. Next is going to be moved to booked appointments. So this is extremely important, right? Just how I was saying, again, the whole point of, let's say, the agent that we're building is to have it book into an appointment live. Then this is the automation that's going to remove it from that automation, that contact from that automation, like if that makes sense. So like essentially what this trigger is once the customer books an appointment where the AI caller actually, book them into the time on whatever calendar you choose. So you can click in calendar and then choose the demo calendar, right? I'll just remove for the sake, but you guys understand, just make sure you do that for whatever calendar you want. Right here, it's going to be move lead to booked in the actual pipeline opportunity, okay? And then it's going to add the tag booked so we know that they've booked a call, and then it's going to remove from the workflow, all right? I'm going to give you guys a demo and a sample example of how this works in just a minute, but it's going to remove from all the other workflows we were just talking about. So then if it was in progress to potentially go in the not interested pipeline or the did not respond pipeline, it's going to remove it from that before it gets there because, again, they've booked the appointment, so they don't need to go down through that. Then we're going to click Save Action. You just click Save. Cool. And then the last thing is the send message to leads that did not actually respond, right? So let's say they just no-showed, they're in the pipeline stage where they just did not respond, right? In that whole pipeline opportunity stage, it's going to wait 10 minutes, then it's going to send a quick SMS messages saying, hey, first name, hope you're going well, just tried calling, whatever, as in the agent just tried calling, and then you're going to put your name down here, and then you're going to add the tag. So it's all automated, right? The only thing you got to change for you guys is literally just adding your name here at the bottom, okay? And then of course, clicking publish in the top right. Cool. So that is the basic automation. So I want to show you guys real quick a live example of how this works, because some of you guys might have just watched that and been like, Carson, I just got completely lost and we haven't even gone into the advanced automation section. But let me show you guys a quick example of how this actually works. So what I'm going to do is just actually add my phone number to my contact right here. So obviously I'm going to have to blur this. Okay. Save. Right. And then what I'm going to do, back to automation, I go to Sapana connector, basic, and then I'm going to put into this one right here. So we already have this all submitted. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to test workflow, and I'm going to select on my contact like so, run test, and then I'm going to click enrollment, come back here, and then now I'm right here. So I'm going to click skip step, so, and I'm going to move it directly to the place call. So let's see if this goes through. Boom. As you guys can see on my camera right here, I'm being called by a Seattle number. And if I picked up.
Hello, is this Carson Reed?
Yes, it is. And then boom, it would take the call from there. Okay, you guys heard it. But that's how it works, okay? So that's like in a simple, I guess, example of how it works. You guys can customize and tweak this in the settings all you want based on how fast you want it to reply, how quick it is, or even slow how you want it to be, whatever. Based on the latency, you can make it as low as under a second or, over a second, obviously, and so on. So that's how it works, right? And then what it's going to do is it's going to place this call. It's going to move myself inside of this pipeline right here. So if I go right over here and I go to the basic pipeline, because we're in the basic one, it's going to go to call in progress, right? So I'm currently the call in progress. And then it's going to wait some time. Once the call is obviously completed, it's going to wait a little bit, like 3 to 5 minutes. And it's going to move myself to either lead not interested, lead did not respond, or booked, right? Depending on how the call outcome went. And that's how it is. And you guys can set this exact same stuff up for your client sub accounts, right? You guys can take the snapshot I gave you and just put this right into your client sub accounts, okay? Next thing I want to cover is the advanced automations. So just imagine what I just showed you, but like on steroids. That's kind of what this is for. And this is for like very long nurture lead sequence workflows with the AI callers. Like let's say someone opts in, we want them to be called I don't want to say nonstop, but at least twice a day for the next 7 days because they opted in and we need to get a hold of them, and if they aren't getting a hold of, we need to be constantly reaching out to them. I believe, don't quote me on this, but the maximum amount of time you can call someone a day is 4 times a day. So in this automation, I'm going to be showing you guys it's 2. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys here. It's the same thing. This one is the exact same. So move, Facebook lead to call, right? So however you're getting your leads from, we want them to enter this automation and actually call by the AI. Make sure the trigger is exactly how you want it up here. It's in the right form or whatnot. Then it's going to be place call. Select the agent that we have made, of course. Click save action. And then we'll add itself and tag in the pipeline and whatnot, and then you're good to go. You can click save. Go back to workflows, and then this one right here is literally what I just showed you, but on steroids, okay? You guys are going to look at this and be like, Carson, how long did this take you to make? Don't ask me, okay? It took a long, long time, but here's the point, and I'll kind of just summarize it really fast. All it's going to do is this automation is going to, once have an AI caller has had a conversation and the call has completed, okay? It's going to detect, like it was before, outbound or inbound, okay? Inbound being over here, outbound being on this side here on the left, right? And what it's going to do is essentially going to detect for the exact same type of stuff, but it's going to add follow-ups, all right? So right over here on the inbound is it's just going to detect, was the call actually, like did the call happen? Did it move to not interested or, whatever it was, and it's going to add the call notes, okay? And if they didn't show up or they didn't pick up or whatever, I guess it's not even really possible for an inbound call, but like just what happened to the call? If they didn't convert into a booked appointment, what is the summary of it, right? For the inbound call, because it's not possible for a call not to pick up if it's an inbound call, if that makes sense, right? And then next, everything here on this left side is literally all for the outbound call and follow up and automations. So I'll go a little bit into this, but I don't want to go too deep because I don't want to confuse you guys. But you guys essentially don't need to touch anything inside of this automation, okay? You choose whether you want to use advanced or basic, but this right here is for very long follow-up workflows and sequences that's been built out for you guys, okay? So imagine someone right here, we have right over here, is voicemail is reached, right? Or we can't get a hold of them. The first call goes out to them, but the voicemail was reached, right? It's now going to do what's called a stage picker, and it's going to move people in this automation based on their, I guess, stage in the pipeline, right? So they're first going to double dial, make sure, after the first call, let's try double dialing them. It's going to add them to a workflow, which is the place call workflow, which I'm going to explain in a minute. Add the tag and, make sure it's all good to go here. And then if they don't book into a call or they, they didn't turn into like, I guess, a lead not interested or whatever, it's going to put them into this one. So the next day in the morning, then it's going to do that same day at night. Then the next day in the morning, that same day at night. It's going to do that same exact thing. It's going to keep calling them all the way up until day 6 at the end of the day, right? And we have to do this all through business hours or else this is extremely non-compliant. So there's already, all this has kind of already been set up. But you guys can see here, it moves itself along inside the pipeline in the stages. So all the tags like day 1 p.m. call, right? Or day 3 p.m. call. So we can track where people are throughout the whole stage. And they're also being moved inside the pipeline and opportunity section as well. Again, this automation, you guys are probably sitting here like, Carson, what do I change? You don't need to touch it, okay? All the summaries are going to be added. Everything's already added, All you have to do is just, if you want to use this, use it, all right? But again, it depends on your scenario. But the key important thing here is, with that automation, we're obviously adding all these people to the place call. And the reason we do it and we add it to this one is if we had to add into, I guess, place call, and I'll kind of explain this so you guys understand. But again, I'm going to speak at a higher level here because I kind of have to. With Retell AI, you can't call more than 18 times or 20 times at the same time, right? So if we added the place call here throughout all of them, we'd have a bunch of leads that will bundle up and would all be trying to call at the same time. And the concurrency limiters, if we added that into all of these, it would technically be separate because they're in their own stages of the pipeline. So if there's 10 people here in the concurrency limiter, there's 5 people here and then another 10 people here, it's technically all separate. So it's going to all try to go through at the same time and the agent will break pretty much. So what we did to fix this is we added this to another workflow where we had a designated workflow that essentially funnels all these calls into, which is just the place call workflow, okay? And all this does is it's just going to add, according to the stage in this workflow, it's going to wait for business hours to make sure we're not calling people outside of business hours. Business hours, I believe, are 8 to 8 p.m. or 8 to 5 p.m. You guys can correct me based on where you're at. And then you can make sure if you want Sundays on or Saturdays on, whatever, you can change that. And then it's going to go into this concurrency limiter. So then it will max out at just 18 batch size. So 18 calls at the same time. So the agent doesn't get overloaded. And it will do this interval every 10 minutes to just cycle through anyone that's ever stuck in here if you have a large lead volume. And then lastly, it will place the call. Okay. What you need to do here, of course, is make sure agent is selected because it's not going to call anyone. So connection Retell, boom, and then you're going to click save, right? That's really how you do it, okay? And then the last thing in this whole automation is this booked appointment automation, which, as again, same thing as last time. Once an appointment is finally booked and they've completed their self and the AI caller has done its job, and it wasn't like a lead not interested, it picked up and it just didn't like the call, it's going to, of course, trigger up here, will be booked appointment, and it will remove it from all the other workflows. So we're not constantly calling them after they've booked an appointment, because that's not smart. Okay. And we'll also make sure it adds the notes and whatnot. And that's already done in the other automation. Cool. I know we've just covered an absolute ton. I hope this made sense. Obviously, all the tags are actually, keeping them in order as well. So this one right here, we have 11 tags we're moving them from, because if they get to this stage, it doesn't matter how far they went in. We just want to make sure they know they booked a call. And then you guys click publish on the top right for all these automations. So that is a demo. Real quick, I'll pull up in the meantime an actual AI caller like demo sample you guys can use yourself, that I'll be giving you guys inside of this big kind of resource doc that you will have access to, that you can show clients on sales calls as well, that have already been made for you. So just give me one moment. So if you guys see this right here, this is like a 2-minute and 40-second demo with the agents that I just showed you how to set up, that you guys will have access, like I said, to download or to have on your computer, that you can bring up on your own sales calls to just showcase what the AI caller sounds like in action with Retell. So I'll quickly just kind of play this.
Hey, is this Emmanuel?
Hello?
This is Sarah. I'm giving you a call from the American Retiree Club. You recently clicked on one of our ads about Roth converting your retirement accounts without using your own money to pay the taxes. And I am just reaching out to get you set up with one of our strategists so they can show you how it works. Does that ring a bell?
Yes, it does.
Great. Let me just verify your information real quick. Is your email address still emmanuel.s@gmail.com?
Yes.
What state are you located in?
I am located in Washington.
Okay. How soon are you looking to retire, or are you already retired? Or 1K, a personal?
So you guys get the point. So these demos, I'm going to give you guys like probably 2 or 3 inside of the resources doc. You guys will have access to it, like I said, download and then use whenever needed. So that is pretty much the entire AI caller section. I don't think there's really anything else in here. So I'll head back to the slide deck and we'll kind of finish it off. So we covered connecting Retell to your CRM, of course, having that all good to go, or Gohighlevel to trigger the AI calls automatically. You guys understand how to use my actual GPT to make the prompt yourself. Of course, if there's small little bugs you see, you can bring that exact prompt it generated for you, bring it into Manus and just say, keep this the exact same, except change this thing because I'm having problems with this, and Manus will fix it. And then following my steps using Sympana connectors, so the app that me and my team have developed. You guys obviously saw how important that was and saw how cool that was. It can literally integrate directly with the calendar. Lastly, reviewing, or not lastly, but second to lastly, reviewing my AI caller automation. So we had the basic folder and we had the advanced folder. So hopefully all that made sense. If you guys have questions about this stuff, please bring it to my monthly call. I'm hosting for everyone that has access to this stuff, or maybe even drop a quick question in the comments if you guys have that as well. And then lastly, my AI caller resources and scripts, right? So you guys have that as well, that you've been using throughout this whole time. And what I just showed you guys is what a lot of our clients are using right now, okay? Of course, I'm going to get into the ad stuff soon, which should be pretty much the video after this. So you guys will understand how to set up ads for your clients. But that is how you set up the AI caller, pretty much set up A to Z with Retell AI. For your clients. And this has been a longer video, but obviously I think it's extremely important to make sure you're setting this stuff up right. And I encourage you guys, if you guys are at the stage where you guys need to set this up or need to understand a little bit more, test around with this stuff. Try to do it for yourself, and you guys will have a good time, just kind of messing around and then making a great AI agent, right? A lot of it, I will say, comes down to the prompting, and then you guys can tweak with the settings of the agent a little bit, but majority is prompting. So using the GPT I've given you, and then having Manus correct any issues or bugs maybe you see throughout the prompt. So that being said, guys, next steps is to understand Retell and set up the test agent to play with. Like I just said, utilize all the resources and docs I'm giving you, because again, all this stuff you guys have access to. And then lastly, head into video 9 inside the section, because I'll see you guys in there. So let's go.